Anyway, so nothing more to add there, only that it looks as though we are another step closer to a ceasefire. Let's bring in Jonathan Conricus, former IDF spokesperson, a regular on this program too. Jonathan, good to see you again. So, I mean, look, we've been reporting all morning that this proposal was being put forward to the Israeli cabinet. Has that been approved now, going off the back of what Joe Biden just said?
Yes, good morning. And finally, we have something slightly positive to report out of the Middle East, which probably we should cherish. Yes, according to what I know, it will come into effect 4 a.m. Israeli local time, which is in about 6 hours. And it has been approved by the Israeli cabinet, 10 ministers voting for, 1 against, and therefore approved, and it will come into effect. Many questions remain. And the real issue here, the biggest sticking point, I think, from an Israeli perspective, is that there are no real assurances that it's safe for Israeli civilians to return to their homes. And when the prime minister gave a pre-recorded video address to Israelis in Hebrew, he didn't tell that it was safe for Israelis to return home. He did commit that he would, in his words, make sure that that would happen in the future, but that is not yet reality. And many Israelis ask themselves, well, if we're having a ceasefire and it's not even safe to return to our homes yet, then what will the ceasefire be about? So there's lots of questions. How will it be implemented? Who will provide guarantees and assurances? How can Israel respond once it gets violated by Hezbollah, which for sure it will get? A lot of moving parts, but of course, it's a step probably in the right direction. And with U.S. backing, maybe we can see an end to this war. Israelis can return to their homes. And most importantly, in the south, 101 Israeli hostages still in Hamas captivity.
Well, on that point, what does this mean for Gaza? Does this mean any progress? Like Antony Blinken was suggesting today that it would lead to a development out of Gaza. Are you that hopeful?
I am not naive, and I think that it is in the right direction. But what really is needed is tremendous pressure to be brought upon Hamas, its state supporters, of course, the Islamic Republic of Iran, but its enablers in Qatar, and to a certain extent, Turkey. Without that happening, then Hamas won't be incentivized to end the war, end the suffering, and hand over the hostages. And I don't see that happening. And therefore, I remain pessimistic that Hamas will come around to the negotiating table with the intention of really ending the war. I, of course, hope that they will, because I think it's high time, and I think it's really possible to stop the war, have Hamas surrender, and then start the long process of rebuilding Gaza for the benefit of people who live there. And of course, have 101 Israeli hostages finally brought back home to their families, those that are dead and those that are alive.
Okay, Jonathan, really appreciate your time as always. We will talk to you again soon. Jonathan Conricus there talking as it approaches 11 p.m. there in Tel Aviv in Israel.